Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Red Alert. Based on the Transformers Armada TV show, this guy is the next entry in a long line of incredibly solid updates. And as we whack up an image of how he appeared on screen, he is most definitely looking to continue with that trend. And something which is super cool about this guy is that some of the features from the original actually do carry over into this one, such as the return of light piping, which is brilliant. And am I the only one who thinks that he kind of looks like RoboCop? His chest is also incredibly detailed, although unlike the Armada figure, doesn't actually spring open, which was something that he did do on the show. And you know what, guys, even as we spin around to the back, he is once again looking to be ripped straight out of the cartoon. There's even a retro-styled minicom port, which if I remember correctly would activate a flip-out shoulder cannon on the original, which is something this figure can also do, only this time manually, and unfortunately without long arm, which I've got to say really is my biggest issue when it comes down to some of these more modern updates. The minicons were such a huge part of the show that to see them missing time and time again really does just suck. But if you do happen to own any of the originals, or even the two more recent ones, then they should work with this guy, as I do believe his tabs are backwards compatible. But even if not, Red Alert is still an absolute blast to mess with, and I really do think that alongside Optimus Prime may just be one of my favourites from the line. In terms of accessories, despite unfortunately not including a minicon, he is still pretty stacked. The first being his flip-out back cannon, the second his grappling hook, and then finally, not one, but two interchangeable hand attachments. Much like the original figure, the hook can be attached onto the shoulder cannon for him to use in order to capture enemy Decepticons, or can even be stored inside his backpack, which is something you'll have to do anyway for the transformation. And then finally, his left arm blasters can be interchanged depending on your preference, or can again be stored inside the figure by making use out of the panels on the side of the legs, which again is a great carryover from the weapon storage first seen from the original Armada toy. Reporting for duty, when it comes down to posability, this is an area without doubt that he'll absolutely improve upon in comparison to the original. So, the head is packing a supreme ball joint. This can look up, down, tilt side to side, and can be rotated left to right. His shoulders can kick forwards, backwards, and out to the side. The bicep can spin, and due to transformation, the elbows can bend way past 90. The wrist can fully rotate, and I really like how they've been able to conceal the ugly mushroom joint. Despite the backpack, the waist can still rotate freely, the hips can kick both forwards and backwards, allowing him to complete the full splits. He is also packing a pretty deadly high kick, the thigh can rotate, the knee can bend pretty much there to 90, the ankles can kick forwards and backwards and can also rock inwards. But to really see what this guy is capable of, let's now put him through the post test. Firing through some robot mode size comparisons, first up is the Armada Leader class Galvatron, the legendary Commander class Optimus Prime, Voyager class Starscream, Deluxe class Hotshot, then finally Wheeljack, who unfortunately really does appear to be the weak link out of the bunch. So, for the first step, take the front chest plate and fold this here upwards. Once completed, we can then spin here to the side, as there is also an additional panel that you'll also want to fully extend. We can now take the head, slide this inside this cavity, as this section is now going to slide backwards and will snap into place. What you'll then do is now take a hold of the bicep and spin this inwards, as the back of the arm is now going to attach into the underside of the shoulder. So, snap this into place. What you'll then do is now make use out of these double jointed elbows. torsos. These are going to compress inwards. You'll then take the shoulder, rotate this here around to the front, and do exactly the same for the second side, with the only small difference being the removal of the arm cannon. We can then spin around here to the back, take this panel and fully extend this upwards. You'll then spin here to the underside, take this panel and do the same. We can now take the shoulders and fold these here into the center. So again, do the same for the second side, and as I'm sure you guys would then guess, combine these here directly down the middle. And that right there, guys, is the entire upper torso now fully transformed. We can then spin down to the legs, where you'll first of all take the foot and slide this upwards. The heel spur is then going to slide forwards and will snap into place. We can then take a hold of the shin and break this into two individual components. This section is going to slide all the way back and again will snap into place. So do the same for the second side. Take the front part of the foot, fold this here upwards, take the heel spur, slide this forwards, then take the shin and slide this all the way to the back. Now, to my surprise, the two legs won't actually combine together, because instead you'll want to take the lower part of the torso and slide this all the way to the back, so that we can then take a hold of the panels on the side of the legs and line these up perfectly along with the doors. So spin around here to this side and do exactly the same. Once completed, what you'll then do is slightly spread the legs apart so that we can now take the backpack, slide this directly down the center and snap everything here into place. Once the back is fully locked in, that is the transformation completely complete. Here is Red Alert now fully transformed into his truck mode, which again is an incredibly faithful recreation of how he did appear on the show, and unlike the Armada toy, this time has been completely filled in front, side to back, resulting in an SUV that is a compact unit. All of his windows are a separate plastic insert, which is great for so many reasons, but most importantly to ensure longevity, and to mimic the placement of the mini-com ports as seen on the original, you can attach one down back and one up front, which definitely gives me hope that maybe one day we'll see Longarm and the rest of the team. He also still retains full use of his shoulder cannon, which again he can use in order to take down enemy Decepticons, and his tyres are once again pinned into place, something which has been seen throughout the entire line so far, which is awesome. This allows him the ability to not only glide back and forth, but to also respond to medical emergencies with little to no issue. Racing through some vehicle mode size comparisons. First up is once again the Leader class Galvatron, Commander class Optimus Prime, Voyager class Starscream, Deluxe class Hotshot, then finally again Wheeljack. So, wrapping up on this review for the Transformers Age of the Primes Red Alert. This is yet another cracking entry into the Armada subline. Both his robot and vehicle mode are incredibly faithful recreations, and I am so glad that this guy isn't a Legacy Deluxe crankcase retool. There are also some great throwbacks to the gimmicks as seen from the original Armada figure, and my only real complaint would again be the lack of a minicon, which around 3 years into Hasbro giving us updated Unicron trilogy figures really should have been included. But I would love to know what you guys think of Red Alert down below. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Transform and roll out!